Welcome back to episode 9, where I build in public of building my dream business, a community for early stage purpose-led founders. This is episode 9, but first let's go get coffee. Okay, she is windy. Let's do this. I have my notes here. Last time I filmed, I was in Byron Bay with some friends, had an amazing time. I came back to New Zealand, got here on the 17th of December, and it has been all go since. Bit of a life update. I've just been traveling around a lot. Summertime here in New Zealand is now, and it's also the Christmas New Year period, so the entire country basically shuts up for about 2 weeks, which now traveling and seeing how the rest of the world operates, it's a very bizarre concept. But I think because it's summer, it's New Year's, it's Christmas, everyone just kind of all collectively decides that it's time to close up shop. So I embraced that this year, knowing probably that this will be my last time doing this for a couple of years, I think, or at least for the next year or so, because next year I know that business is going to be booming. I'm saying that here now. That community will be really active, and that I will need to be showing up and won't be able to take 2 weeks off like I just have. So I really made the most of that time. I was noticing a lot of momentum building in the business prior to going away, and I'll get into that shortly, but it was a bit of a challenge for me to step away from my laptop when I really didn't want to. And I think that's the thing when you love what you're doing so much. Like, I don't want to step away from what I'm doing because I love it, and I feel like every day is a holiday for me, and I didn't need a holiday. But at the same time, I knew going away, being around friends who aren't necessarily doing this type of work, and just being around different minded people and switching off, getting outdoors, being out of service, I just knew it would be really good for me, and it was. So I embraced that, did it. So I just had to move my car because everything was overheating, but I was starting to get into business behind the scenes and what's been going on. So I mentioned before, momentum's been building, which is super exciting, and it's all just starting to build up, which I'm loving. And honestly, my to-do list is growing like wildfire. I cannot keep up. Something super exciting is happening next week, which I will share with you in next week's video, but I have some help coming in, which I'm very excited about, because it basically means that I won't be spreading myself too thin. And yeah, that's all I'll say on that for now, but I'm excited for that one. Ads. So I'm frothing ads so much. So I've been doing ad creative for different clients over the last few years, and I'd say it's one of my skill sets, something I'm quite good at. But I've never done the meta setup side, and I've always dreaded it. It was something I outsourced when I was running the agency. I brought in someone pretty early on to help with that because I did not want to do it. And now that it's my own thing, I've kind of been forced to learn how to do it. And I've really surprised myself because I'm really loving it. And what I'm doing is I've got this whole system set up, running different campaigns, and I'm tracking these in an Excel sheet. And I think the thing is, I'm actually only tracking the stuff that I'm interested in and which actually means something, which I think is something you should do anyway, but I've kind of never seen reporting as that, and that's something I'm focusing on at the moment. So I have a whole ad creative analysis spreadsheet going, and I'm frothing it. So having a lot of fun with that. And the thing is as well is it's working. So I can track the leads that come in from what ads. And for example, I set up a ad with B-roll, POV text, and 3 different audios over it. And I already had tested whether like vibey, upbeat music would work versus a more like voice-over, inspirational, motivational audio, and that one performed better. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to test different styles of this. So I tested another 3, 2 male voices, 1 female, and the male voices performed better. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. So different things like that, I'm just analyzing, testing, and then reiterating, and I'm loving it. So super interested in that. So if you ever want to talk about ads, I would love to talk more about it. Big thing, booked our first retreat. It is locked in. It is happening in Mount Maunganui, New Zealand. Town I've been living in the last 5 years, probably my favorite place on earth. I've traveled a lot and nothing is comparable to that place. So I open up to members first at the end of the year, so end of 2025. Got a few places locked in, we've got a few spots available, and last night I promoted that, so got the Instagram post up and there's been some good interest on it, so super excited for that. We ran one back in 2025 at the start of the year for a different group I was running at the time called The Club, and that was kind of under collectively but also a little bit separate, and it was essentially what I'm doing now, but I was just testing the product at that time, and it was incredible. And it was very much like hanging out with your best friends, booking an Airbnb, making pasta, having deep chats, being vulnerable, exploring, that kind of vibe, and that's exactly what this is going to be, so I'm super excited for that. And that will be happening at end of March. And how I'm going to structure that is, it was open up to members first, they get it at cost price, and then I'm opening it up to non-members, but they've got to get on a call with me first just to make sure that they're the right fit, since it is a highly curated community, and then they'll be able to access it at a non-member rate. So yeah, very, very exciting stuff. Okay, I wrote down here, the community is active, and holy heck is it active. It is so cool to see every time I get a notification that someone's made a post or someone's commented on someone's post or one of the group chats is active. It is just the most, I can't even describe the feeling of what it is, but it's so fulfilling, and it lights me up so much to see that these people are getting value and they're connecting and finding their space where they belong, and it just lights me up so much. So to see that active is super, super cool. And we had since I haven't done one of these videos in a while, we had a group call back in December, our December group call, and we had every single member on the call, and it was just something I've actually never experienced before, that feeling to see that. I felt like a proud teacher in that moment, or something like that, where just to see these people connecting and solving challenges and pain points that they feel as business owners, as humans, and to find the solution to that was just really epic to see. So community is active, people are posting. Something else was the other day, myself and two of the members met up in person, and we had a vision board afternoon, evening, and one of the members hosted us at her place and provided snacks. We got the magazines out, brought the boards out, and went over our goals and just chatted the whole time, and it was so nice just to it was one of those situations where you walk into the room and instantly feel like you're meant to be there, and that's exactly what that was. And it was fun to do our vision boards for the year as well. So if you haven't done your vision board for the year, I highly recommend you do that, and just be very intentional with it as well. That was the thing we did for that, was to actually make sure that every single image on there has an intention behind it, rather than just going, oh, that looks nice, I'll pop that on there. It's like, no, why are you putting that one on there? So yeah, recommend you do your vision board. Even better yet, do one for 2026, and then do one for your dream life as well, which can be quite revealing as well when you start to assess what you're doing in accordance to getting to that, and what you're doing that's not going to get you to that as well. I need a coffee break. I wonder if that sounds satisfying. We'll see. Something I wanted to share was, prior to coming home from Byron, I actually had a real rut week where I wasn't even going to share this, and I was telling a friend, and the friend was like, you need to make sure you share this in the YouTube videos, because that's the real shit that people don't talk about. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I guess that's true. So there was a week, and for no reason in particular, I couldn't figure out what it was. I was just feeling super deflated, unmotivated, and just in a bit of a rut, to be honest, and I didn't know why. And I ended up actually changing my flights to come home back to New Zealand earlier than I was supposed to come back. And I just wanted to have some stability and a home base for a little bit, which, I mean, I did for about 4 days until I went off again. But yeah, I thought I'd just share that. Not really much to come from that, but thought I would just share that. Last couple of things, focusing on less is more. So when it comes to the product of the community, there's so much I can add to it, like the retreats and the monthly calls and workshops and resources and all of that. But ultimately what I'm learning is that the number one piece of value is that these people want to feel like they belong, which is a basic human need, and to connect with each other. And that's the thing that I want to focus on most. So I'm really focusing on the community and the product itself. So that's kind of where I feel like my time is divided so much at the moment, because I'm focusing on growing the brand and the business and the operations side, but then also the product is now very much alive and it's going, and I need to be active in there as well. So just focusing on the most important thing, which is that connection piece. And to me, I think that's less is more, and just make sure that that really happens. So yeah, thought I would note that. And that's pretty much it. The last thing I wrote down on here, and basically I just kind of keep note on my phone throughout the week when different things come up that I want to share in these videos, and I wrote this down. If you want something different, you need to start operating differently. And I think basically what I meant by that was, if you want something different to what you currently got, you're going to have to start changing things and make sure you're operating in a way that's going to get you to that thing. So I'm going to leave you on that nugget. Have a think about that. I'm also going to go have a think about that. But that was all for this week. Keen to hear your thoughts. Please make sure you're subscribed if you like these videos and want to keep up with them. Comment your thoughts. Keen to hear. I've actually met a couple of people over the last few weeks who've been watching these, so shout out to you guys, because yeah, it's really weird when you meet people and you get chatting to friends or family or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, I've been seeing your videos, and I'm like, oh yeah, people actually watch these. So if that is you, would love to know who's actually watching these, so please comment, like, really helps, and I will see you in next week's video. Consistency, 52 videos this week, every Friday. See you then.